Ma'am, yes po ma'am. I would like to ask nga po pala po. I will, wait po. Wait lang, hanapin ko saan po yan ako. Ayun po. Sorry po ma'am, I wasn't able to, to open the activities for today. The video in the LMS.
Oh, why? You have, what's the reason?
I have class po kasi the whole day po eh. Yun po.
Okay.
That's why I did not open it. But I saw the naman po, the content. And it's about polls, voting, and other real-time activities po that will be helpful to my class. Ayan.
Yeah, very helpful. Especially if you wanna like, hi sir, where are you located right now, sir?
It's just my virtual background po. I'm in school po. Ayan, on-site po kami sa school po namin.
Where is your school?
I'm from Living Angels Christian Academy, Baliwag, Bulacan po.
Okay. Were you a participant during, I did another Mentimeter, but I think there were some participants from the same school.
Maybe po, I have, but I can't recall it. I can't recall that, that time po, ma'am.
So, Mentimeter is actually a very good online application if you would want to add polls, online voting, or even an online quiz within your class. But of course, it's highly dependent on your internet connectivity because it's a web-based application that needs the access to the internet. So you have how do we go about this? You would want to ask questions, and then since there's like the two of us.
I tried answering Mentimeter before, but I'm not doing any polls there. I'm not the one manipulating it. I'm just I'm just one of the participants there in answering the Mentimeter. And okay, so I don't have talaga, I'm not into workshop of doing how to do polls there and so on.
Sige. So you have tried answering before or voting in Mentimeter, but you have not tried using it. So it's correct for me to assume that you don't have an account yet?
I have personal account po in Zoom. However, the other teacher is using it for the afternoon session.
No, with Mentimeter. With Mentimeter, sir.
The application in the Zoom.
No. Mentimeter is not part of Zoom. It's a totally separate web-based application.
In my kasi ma'am, in my case po kasi, I have a premium account in Zoom, and in the lower part, in the lower part of my Zoom, there's an icon here says apps, and then after I click that apps po na yun, I need to download, or the server needs to approve my application, and one of the applications there that I can register as well in my Zoom application is the Mentimeter. Pero I'm not yet embedding it in my account po, kasi the server of the accounts of the Zoom in our school is not yet approving my
Okay. Sige, let me na lang show you how you could somehow create a free account with Mentimeter, because of course Mentimeter there's also like plans that you could pay. So the more you would want to make use of the features that they do provide, you have to pay. But with a free account, I could tell you could already like make use most of the features with Mentimeter. So for classroom purposes, the free account will really do. So let me share. I would want you to go here, sir, so that you could like start creating. Because once you do have a Mentimeter account, you could somehow make use of it together with your Zoom. Okay. This is you have to go to mentimeter.com.
Okay, I'm in now, ma'am.
Okay, but before that, let me ask you to vote, Carla. You could send, when was the last time you're able to like vote using Mentimeter?
A month before, I think. I can't remember it.
How was the
Kasi,
experience? How was the experience?
it's just like they are asking few questions and then I need to fill out some, let's say for example, name 3 examples of planets in our solar system. Then I'll answer it there. I'll need to type my answer there.
Sige. Let me, before we will start with the actual demonstration and how you could use Mentimeter, let me answer you a poll so that you could somehow see, like right now you will be the participant and later I'll walk you through how you could do the same. Considering that you did mention you weren't able to view or see all the videos in the virtual classroom because you had a class. But
Yes.
anyway, you always like view the videos and there's also the PowerPoint equivalent for that. Okay. Let me share my screen. Allow me to share my screen, okay?
Okay.
So can you see my screen right now, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is the preview page where you could see. So if you have already a free account with Mentimeter, this is where you could see all the interactive or Mentimeter presentations that you create. So I have here the folders. So let me go to this one. Okay. So right now, this is like where you could edit it. Not unless you click the present here, your audience will not be able to see it. So it's like you could control your presentation and at the same time, let them interact with your presentation through Mentimeter. So let me start with this one. There's only you, so I'll be seeing a few, but let me allow you na lang to input a lot. So I'll be requiring to input 5, sir, for the word cloud so that you could somehow see a lot. So this is a word cloud slide. So let me ask you to vote first. So could you please go to, do you have your phone with you right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be asking you to vote to this particular poll using your phone because I think in the setup that we do have right now with the pandemic, most of our students, they do have phones. We could not guarantee that all of them like has desktop or laptop, right? Okay, so if it's through your phone, you could make use of your browser if you do have, but if it's easier if you're going to download the Mentimeter app.
Okay, I'm here na, ma'am.
Okay, so or you could simply go to menti.com, sir, and then you just have to input this one.
Yes po, yes po. I'm now entering my answer to the question,
Okay.
what made you
I'm
decide to
asking you
join this
5.
training?
Yes,
All
there are
right,
5.
sige po.
So I'll ask you to input 5 because if only one, we will not be able to see the beauty of the word cloud. Okay, I'll start the countdown as well, okay?
Yes po, ma'am.
So I'm giving you 1 minute to think of the 5 phrases or words that made you decide to join this training. Not only Mentimeter, but the entire course, this one. Yeah. So why were you so interested? What made you decide to really join? Considering that you also have classes at the same time. You have 6 seconds left.
Yes po, ma'am. I'm typing po. Okay.
Okay. You able to send it?
I'm in the fourth po eh. I need to
Okay,
fill
I'll
out
open it
the
again.
5.
I'll open it
Okay.
again.
Okay.
Give you more time.
Yan, I'm done.
Okay. So these are the things. As you can see, once you press submit there on your end, on my end as the presenter, I could also see it here. So to be a 21st century teacher, yes, very timely. To hear news from others, to learn new things. So based on your entries, I could say you're a passionate teacher and to gain friends. So we're able to do this, sir, using the word cloud layout for Mentimeter. Okay, so I am the presenter, you are the participant. So let's go back here. So that's one thing that you can do with Mentimeter. Another is this one. I would want you to participate again. Can you see it now? You have to input the same code. You have to input the code. Okay, so on the lower part here, you could see how many have casted their votes. In our case right now, there's only you. So that's why you have C1. And automatic, what the answer of the participant will reflect here. Okay, so that's the beauty of one of the beauty of Mentimeter. It's like interactive, right away, real time. You can see the results. Now this one was used. Wait, let me transfer this. So this one, sir, was used using the multiple choice. Okay, so like the moment the participant or your students will cast their votes, you as the owner or the presenter of the slides or the presentation would right away see. But of course, the internet comes to play there. How fast you could see it, that depends on your internet connectivity. So let me walk you through how these things were done with Mentimeter.
I have question nga po pala ma'am regarding dun sa kanina sinagutan ko po about dun sa may word cloud. What if I have 20 participants tapos I ask them to give 5 each participant? I'll ask them to give 5 examples of something. It will be ano po ba? It will be it will be messed up po ba? What will be the arrangement of the cloud, or are for example, the students A answer the 5 answers from the student po ba, it will be separated, or it's what?
How it will be displayed, sir, the
Yes
dominant
po.
words will be the common words. And usually, like the formation is dependent with Mentimeter, and it depends on the number of words that will be transmitted from the audience. So the dominant words are the words that's common to most of your participants. So the bigger or the more dominant the word is, that would tell you most of them. Like it's common answer or reply from most of you. The smaller ones are like the least, or like in terms of number of occurrence. So it's gonna check across all the entries that will be submitted by your participants, or in our case, our students, because our students are our participants.
Okay.
So it's
Sige
like
po.
that. Okay. Have you is it okay if I would let you create your own account with Mentimeter?
Sige po ma'am. I will try to create my own account.
Considering that you have not watched the video, so para we could like exchange roles later on. You will be the participant and I'll be the one to to cast a vote. Okay?
Alright. Okay, ma'am. And then I'm here in the mentimeter.com.
Then
What
you have
will
to
I?
sign up. Let me go
There's
up.
no sign. There's no sign up button here. All I can see is my presentation.
So if you can see your presentation, you already have an account with Mentimeter.
Maybe I used it before, but I can't remember it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, what I have here.
when you if it automatically lets you in and you can see your presentations, then you have used it before, sir.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry, ma'am. I have used it before na rin po pala, but I can't remember. I
It's
have
okay,
draft
it's okay,
here.
it's okay.
I
It's
have
okay.
draft. There's a draft here. Okay po, I will click new presentation.
Yes.
Name of
So this
presentation.
is the preview window where we could see all our presentations. Then we click new.
This is for X. This is just an example.
Yeah.
And then create presentation. After I create my presentation.
And after you click, you will be diverted here. This is the editor now. This is a live editor.
Yes po.
Can you see? Yeah. So on this, let me walk you through. On this end here, you could see all your slides here. This is where the content or the elements of a particular slide, this is where you could add elements, edit their elements. And then on this part here, this is where you could see the different question types. So you have multiple choice, word cloud, open-ended, chaos, ranking, Q&A. And of course, with Mentimeter, you could also create an online quiz. So that's where the quiz competition. And then this one, the question types and the quiz competition, you make use of this one to let your users interact without interact with your presentation. But if you simply would want to present data that you don't intend your participants to interact, that's where the content slides is very helpful. This one here. Now you have your advanced questions. So these are other types, but whenever you see like this one, sir, it means to say it's not accessible with a free account. So whenever like you see, so you need to somehow pay for this feature to be used, because actually, if you do have PowerPoint presentations, you could actually import it right away into Mentimeter if you have a paid account. So that is what you can do with this one. But with a free account, because like usually, of course, we are more used to using PowerPoint to make use of Mentimeter to like for icebreaker, or like we would want to get the reflection of our students after we present our lesson. The free account will actually do. Okay. So when you create a new presentation, you already have this one. It's very user friendly. So when you hover it, you could see how it looks like. So right now, what I would want you to do is like you create the title. This one. Okay, let's just create a very short live presentation with Mentimeter to somehow walk you through how to do it. But later, I'll be the one to vote in
Yes
your
po.
presentation. Okay, sige. So usually you make use of this one for title. So how you could change this one, it's unlike PowerPoint wherein you interact here directly to modify an element. With Mentimeter, you have to do it on this side. Okay, so that's where the content tab is very helpful. So the content tab is where you could modify what appears here. So for example, our is live session. So to change the title, you have to do it here. And then to add aesthetics to it, you could click on an image. So this one. Now regarding the image, you could upload from your computer. You could get from the image library. Actually, Mentimeter has a very rich library for images and GIFs. So like here, you could say explore, because we're exploring right now. So you choose an image from your end also, sir. Just click on that image and then save. So how fast the image will be added onto your presentation, that depends again on the speed of your internet. So the faster is your internet, the faster also will the changes reflect on your content. So you might be wondering, now we only have two, the text and the image. So how could we modify this? So we could go to customize. So the customize tab is where you could somehow modify the appearance of the elements. So since this is a title slide, we have to like somehow close this one, because we only need the instructions bar for a slide where you would want your audience, like in our case, our students, to interact with or cast a vote. Okay, then you have here the different layout. So just have to select which layout you like, and that's how easy it is to make your presentation. Okay, question so far with this one?
None so far, ma'am.
Next, we have to add another one. So I would want you to be the one to add a word cloud. So click add. So when you click add, there's another slide added to it. Okay? So I am based on our interaction earlier, I think you're very interested with the word cloud. So let's start with the word cloud. So just have to select the question type. Now let me go back here. Right now, sir, diba, can you see there's like fun, innovative, inspiring, and among these three, which one is most emphasized?
The fun.
Okay, so that means to say it is the most common word that your audience has inputted when they casted their vote. So the smaller is the word, so the occurrence is also less. Okay, so to select a particular slide, you just have to click on that type, then you will have this one. Okay, now here, for the content, you only need to specify your question. How many entries are you going to allow your participant to input? And then the image. Usually you make use of the image to also give them a hint as to what the word cloud is for or for aesthetic purposes. And then the extras here, if you would want to let your participants submit multiple times. So if this one, because it's like this, sir, in terms of how frequent a particular participant could cast a vote, that's device dependent. So for example, while you are still testing your poll, you could make use of your laptop or your computer. That's counted as one vote. If this one is restricted, and then your mobile phone, even if it's the same you, it's another vote, because it does not, Mentimeter does not tag the user, it's the device. Okay, so you make yours and then you let me vote.
I'm making my my word cloud. By the way, ma'am, kanina po while I am answering your word cloud, there is a limited number of word letters that I can put in my answer.
Yeah, that is Mentimeter dependent. So that you could see on the right side there's like a number that pertains to the maximum characters or maximum characters that you could input. So if you would want to have more control on that, you have to subscribe to the paid account. Okay, are you done? So I could vote?
I am almost, ma'am. I am typing my question. Yeah.
Mentimeter is really nicer. It also works like Kahoot and quizzes, pero with Mentimeter, I find it more interactive because like it's like already a presentation and then you could add interactivity to it. Okay, what's the code, sir?
Ito po, I'm saving picture pa lang po as my background, but the code is.
Sige. Just tell me if you have it.
Yes po. Where
Again,
can I find the code, ma'am? I'm done. I'm done answering the questions here. I'm also done in the entries, image. Where can I find the ano po,
can you see
the
it
code?
here? The topmost part of the
Ah,
slide.
okay. The
Yes.
topmost
So,
part.
yes. Actually, sir, there are three ways for your participants to vote. So before you let me vote, let me show that to you. So for example, this one, I'm going to um, present this one. So for example, this one, that I'm going to, of course, you just have to click the present. So let me show you the different vote ways for your participants to vote. Okay, the first way is they go to menti.com. Okay, so if they're gonna use the web browser, they could go to www.menti.com and then they input the code. That's the first one. Another is copy the link. But of course, when you are presenting, you have to inform that to your audience how they could do it. There's an easy way. Can you see my screen? So there's more. Then you have to go here, show voting instruction. Okay? So these are the different ways that your audience could vote. They could scan the QR code here. This is one way. They could go to menti.com and then input this code, this one. And the other way is they will what? If you give them the link. So for example, your Zoom, that's why you mentioned earlier, you do have an account with Zoom. And one of the apps embedded there is Mentimeter. So for example, you're doing your live session with your students or your synchronous session with your student, and then you would want them to participate. You could make use of the link. Can you see this one?
Yeah.
So you copy the link and then chat it to them. So those are the different ways so that your participants could vote.
Okay, ma'am. Here's my link. I copied the link there. Ayan. I sent it in the in the chat.
Okay, wait. Can you see now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the one, right?
Yes po.
How the pieces of paper can be changed. By the way, sir, what's the subject area? What subject area are you teaching?
I'm teaching science po, ma'am.
Ah, okay. Oh, see, you have the image here. Reshuffle. That's why your question is this. So reshuffle. How the pieces can be changed? Reshuffle the pieces of paper. So as you can see, as I type, the number also here decreases.
Yes,
Shuffle the
ma'am.
pieces. Fold the paper. So the maximum character that is allowed is 25 for the free account. Can we change? Crumple it. I hope I'm giving you the right answer.
Yes, ma'am. You're giving me the right answer.
So reshuffle, you fold. Pieces, so you have plenty, right? Crumple it.
Yeah.
What's that? The one you do it's a Japanese art technique. I forgot the name.
Origami.
Yeah, create
Art
an
of
origami.
it.
Then I will repeat one word para you can see the effect. Crumple it. Then I will click submit.
Okay. Oh yeah,
What happened now?
I'm viewing your your answer, and then the biggest word is the crumple it, because that's the common.
Yeah, and how many can you see there?
I
One, right?
only
Let me
I
guess by vote.
only
One. Lower left. How many participants? There's only one.
Yes po, ma'am. There's only one.
Okay. Yeah, let me cast another vote. What's the code, sir? Can you give me the code?
The code po, ma'am, is 43269562.
43269562.
Yes
Is that
po, ma'am.
correct? Okay,
Yes
let
po.
me cast a vote using my phone. What were my options earlier, sir? Fold it.
Fold the paper, crumple it, reshuffle the pieces, and create an origami.
Okay, I'm gonna submit my second.
Yes, yeah, I saw it na po, ma'am. Okay.
Yes.
But the,
Okay.
ano po, but the common word nga po is crumple it. That's why it appears bigger than the others.
Yes, because I inputted it 2 times from my smartphone. And go to the lower right. How many?
I have here 2 participants.
So see, that's what I mean to say. One person could cast more because right now I assume you did not switch on the allow to submit a lot of times. So it does not actually get the ID of the user. So a user could like if the user has multiple devices, then the user could like cast a vote again, even if you restrict the number of times.
Okay.
Questions with that?
But I cannot see the participants po, ma'am, who are the students who are voting, who are already voting with the poll.
No, because with the word cloud, so if you would want to know who are voting, that could be done with the quiz competition. Because with the quiz competition, sir, you could ask for their name, they will be asked an alias, and then they will be assigned an avatar. But for this case, Mentimeter does not keep track who casted it. What you will know is how many.
Yes po, ma'am. But the
Okay,
names
so
po are not there. Okay.
because when I casted my vote, I did not input any name.
But I can input it naman based on the setting po of the Mentimeter.
With a free, no, it's, wait, let me go back here. Because if you go back here, sir, with your content, you only input here the question, the number of participants. There's no option here that would somehow let you track. You get it?
Yes,
There's no option
ma'am.
here that would ask for the ID. So that's how polls work with Mentimeter. Regardless of the question type you use here, you could not keep track of who casted the vote. What you will get is how many participated in the result. That's why this is a very good application to use because you know our students, they're shy, and especially if like you're presenting a lesson and then you would want them to get their honest opinion, they could be very honest here because the ID of the one who voted the poll will not be accessed. But if you would want them to input their name, that is where the open-ended question. Para you would know how many, but it's with a quiz competition where the student will be asked to input and then their alias, whatever, or you ask them to input their correct name for points to be considered for the quiz competition. This is where you could do that here. Especially if we're doing online quizzes and then we would want to keep track who's got the highest point. This is where you can do that, sir. But for these types, when you let your participants interact with your slide, you will only get their answer, but as to who specifically they are, you will not, because nothing will just keep track of the ID. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions?
None so far, ma'am.
Yeah. So with regards to how you can use multiple choice, open-ended, and the other types here under popular question types, it's basically just the same with how we did it with the word cloud. What would usually differ are what you can see under content and how to customize it. Okay? Would you want to try the quiz competition?
Yeah, I think I would like to try that one po. I'm in the quiz,
Okay.
I added the slide nga po and then I am in the quizzes competition. So,
Sige, sige. You create your quiz and I'll be the one to participate. Then, while you are making it, you could ask me questions along the way while you're doing it. So, if you talk about quiz competition, there are two types of quizzes that you could create. The select answer, sir, works like the multiple choice. The type answer is like a short answer type.
okay.
This is the advantage, sir, that you're alone because once you're done, just give me the code.
Okay po. There's also a number of ano din po pala ma'am in the adding a question there's a limited number of characters din po pala.
Yeah. For the free account, let me emphasize for the free account. But if
Okay.
you really like Mentimeter and you'd wanna explore more about it, it's not really that expensive actually. The next plan after the free.
Okay po.
Because a nice one with this one is like you create your quiz. There's already music. You could add a background or like sound effects to it.
Option number 2. Option 3.
So you're using select answer because you're inputting option.
Alright. Baka po ma'am. Ito po. Yeah, wala. Ito po. And then, okay, 15 seconds to answer. Leaderboard, no image. Okay, here's the here's the code.
Okay, give me the code. I use it for my with my smartphone. Then you chat the link. The same link. You're using the same link, right?
Yes po, 4326
No, it's
95.
another one link. What's the code again, sir?
4326 and then 9562.
4326.
9562 ma'am.
Okay, so as you can see with this one, it will not start not unless there's a participant. So I will enter my name.
Yan, I saw one participant na po at the lower part.
Yeah. You did allow a participant to input more to participate more than once. I'm asked for my name again.
Wait po, I'll check po ma'am.
Okay, sir, you could now start. You have two questions. I know you have two questions, right?
Yeah, I only put one question po, but I added another slide po kasi.
That's why it would reflect on my end, question 1 of 2.
Yes po.
Okay.
Okay, I saw your your answer, ma'am.
Oh, and I'm correct.
Yes po.
So with regards to the quiz competition, sir, you could add a leaderboard after each question, or you could simply add the leaderboard at the end of all your questions. So if you would wanna want your participants to be more excited and competitive, add leaderboard after each question. If not, you could add at the end. So do you have questions about the quiz competition?
I don't have, ma'am. It's clear
So
to
that's
me
how
na po.
easy. Okay. So that's how easy it is to use Mentimeter. So aside from it's a very good application to include icebreakers in your during your class discussion, this is also a way for you to solicit reflection from your students, because like if for example you're gonna make use of a word cloud or like an open-ended question type, your students will be confident enough to answer, knowing that you would not know that that was them saying that. So with Mentimeter, your students could even like say their honest opinion or reflection on the lesson. But of course, let me tell you also that you could always with the open-ended, this is automatic. It will automatically check about language and everything. So those nasty comments might not be. So I got the correct answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other areas would wanna explore with Bente? So that's how easy so far, so good.
Yes, yes po.
So you already have an account. You were not just using it that
Yes
much yet,
po.
I think. Oh, because you did mention you already have.
I have drops po pala here before, but I'm not using it po. Maybe last year po, parang ganun, last year pa po yun. Meron po kasi nakalagay na date dun sa presentation.
Yes, yes. When you go
Yes
back to
po.
your preview page where you could see all your presentations, you could see there when it was created and when you last modified it. So you have already your account active since last year, if that's the case.
Uh,
And also, sir, I would like to emphasize that, of course, you will have your science teacher, sir, right?
yes po.
Um, to make use of folders to organize your presentation, so that, of course, as we go along with our lessons, we'll be creating a lot. So it will be easy to locate where the presentation is if we place them inside folders. So with a free account, there's no limit naman as to how many you could create. The restriction lang is with the question type. So with a free account, we are only allowed 2. We are allowed to use only 2 of the popular question types. So for example, if you have used word cloud already, and then you will add multiple choice, that would be okay. But if you add scales or ranking, you won't be allowed anymore.
Ano po ma'am, the scale and sa one, the Q&A.
Okay. With the popular question types, you only are allowed with a free account a max of 2. So so that's why if you're gonna create icebreakers, you break them into presentations so that you will be allowed to use again.
So I will be creating another presentation so that I can include that type again po. I cannot put them in one presentation.
In one presentation, you're only allowed a maximum of 2 of the popular question types per presentation.
Per presentation.
Yes. So might as well make separate presentations. Just have to like explore. Do you have questions, sir?
Not po. I don't have any question.
Because if you try to add another one, sir, Mentimeter will automatically prompt you that you have already used to. So if that would happen, you just have to like create another presentation and then you could use the popular types again. So this is now a very good application that you could embed with your Zoom. So when you're having classes, so you could always like icebreaker, you would want to get reflections from your student, you could ask them questions because sometimes, especially if we would ask our students to like webcam on and then we call them, they will not answer. They will not give their honest feedback, right?
Yes.
Yes, but if you ask them to like interact presentations like this, they'll be very confident to tell or say or share their answers. You're teaching what level, sir?
I'm in the elementary po. I'm teaching grade 4 to 6 science po.
Oh, this is very nice. Like when you start the class.
Yes po. Students are really enjoying the class when I am giving them some links that they will be using in our lesson.
You will look forward to that every time you meet.
Yes po, ma'am.
And then it's also because it's especially with the kids, diba? They have a very grade 4 is not already that short in terms of span of like attention span, but
yes, ma'am.
make it somehow more interactive because I've seen that also with my kid. I have a grade 3. So their science teacher would usually start it with like 5 questions. And then from there, the lesson. After the lesson, then you will have another Mentimeter activity to somehow let the students. And I could see my son enjoying it. So they would always look forward to the link. But
yes.
It's easier if you share the link because you just have to click it. The vote.
They will be directed
right
already.
away.
Yes po, ma'am. If I will be if I will be giving them some instructions, let's say for example, just go to your phone, type in the browser, menti.com, they will be at lost. where will I get? Ayun po.
There's a lot of steps to do. Like you have to input the browser, the URL of the site, and then you have to input the code. So if they miss a number in the code, they won't be able to participate. Unlike the link, just one click.
Yes, ma'am.
So among the 3 ways also with Mentimeter, it's easier to use the link. So you have not used this yet with your classes right now.
I'm not yet po kasi I'm parang the reason why I have drops there before kasi nga po somebody introduced that one to me. But since I did not nga po, I don't have any records of those students who were answering during that time. I tried it, maybe I tried it once kasi meron po nakalagay na sa history po So may presentation na meron na open na po na file. Ayun, baka po tagal na rin po kasi last year na rin po parang nagamit and I'm looking forward nga po sana if there would be name of the students so that I can track them. But I agree to you, ma'am, that some students nga po are shy in or they are not that confident in sharing their answer to the class. That's why whenever we are having some online activities or platforms, I'm introducing the platforms, they are using nicknames instead of their names.
Yes.
Agent Zero, mga ganun po yung mga names sa mga bata.
But if, sir, as a suggestion, if you would want to like allocate points to like a 5-item quiz after your discussion, you just have to tell them that they need to input their real name for the points to
Yes.
be counted with them. That is
Ah,
just what
yes,
you have
ma'am.
to do. So instead of placing there any areas, you would tell them your entry will not be counted if I could not see your real name. Of course, how could I record it? But that could only be possible with a quiz competition. If with the other like word cloud, there's no the ID of the voter is not tracked. Okay, do you have any other like questions? I do hope
Ah,
after this week, next week, you will be using the different applications that you've learned this week. You will add it to your teaching strategy.
by the way, ma'am, I have question po pala. How many slides can I add there in one presentation? Is there any limitation po?
What I know so far is there's a limitation with the popular question types. 2. With the popular question type, but with the other, like the content slide, you could add, so far, sir, I was able to add as many as 30. But that is if you would want to present your lesson using like all-in-one already, like your icebreaker, and then your lesson, and then your assessment after in one presentation.
Ah,
Yes,
yes,
you could do
ma'am.
it. You don't have to like shift from one application to like present your PowerPoint and then you go to Mentimeter for the icebreaker. You could actually do everything here. And
And
to be
in
sure,
And in the
sir,
ano po ma'am, and in the, di ba po kasi once I registered there, I created my account there. Is there any limitation po ba in terms of the file size of the ano, of the presentation? I mean, just
so
like the
far,
ano, just like po the, di ba in the Drive folder, there is only 15 gigabyte per account. So in the ano po ba, there's no limitation naman when in terms to the file size that I'll be using in my ano, my account po.
I could not see that on your end because you said you were able to access Mentimeter from your Zoom. So I'm not familiar with the like the effect of the premium account that you do have with Zoom with the Mentimeter account that you got access through your Zoom. So I'm not sure lang with regards to the terms on that, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll
Because
be
the way I
using
understand
this.
it, because the way I understand it, you were able to like access Mentimeter since last year. And earlier you did mention to me that last month you were able to cast a vote. So
Yes.
I think your access to Mentimeter is directly related to your Zoom account. Because
Mm,
last year pa siya, oo. So I'm not sure if what's the like the terms included with that. But for the free so far, you could do it. That's why for icebreaker, if you would reach the max, then you make chop your presentations.
yes po, ma'am.
Micro learning, because we don't also usually present that entire thing to the students right now because they would get tired. So we would usually like pre-discussion activity, then the discussion proper, then the post assessment or reflection after the discussion. So you just have to like separate your presentations. You should use this.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be using that next week to my class.
Especially that you are dealing with elementary students, they will be very interested. And also, sir, with the content slides, you could include already videos, images. So these are the different, of course, but also there's like themes. Actually, there are a lot of templates available, even with a free account in Mentimeter that you could use. And since you're talking about science, there's like science also here. But of course, with a free account, it's limited lang. But for quiz competition, sir, there are also available templates in Mentimeter that you could use.
I'll explore that tomorrow, ma'am. I don't have class tomorrow, and I will try to create more presentations there.
Yeah, that's good. So it would mean you're interested in using it. So
Yes po.
very nice. Actually, sir, you could already can you see my screen right now? There's profanity filter already. So you could like limit also, especially with the word cloud. So
Yes po.
automatic, yeah, you could like enable this one, and then you could select the language that you would want to track. But of course, there's no Tagalog or Filipino. So if they're gonna input profane words in Filipino, we could that Mentimeter could no longer filter that one. And even with the Q&A, sir, you would not know from whom the question is coming from. So the Q&A question type is a very good type to let your students like share their honest thoughts or ask them questions, because you would not know from whom that question is coming from. You would only see the question. Okay, so do you have any other clarifications or questions with
Uh,
or
I don't have, ma'am, I don't have, and I will explore it. I have class po kasi 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
ah, okay,
Yes.
okay. Sige, I think that's
I need to attend my grade 4 students po, science.
okay. So I think we should end our session now because we have a minute left. At least you have a minute to somehow prepare for your 4 o'clock class. It's so nice to have the
Okay.
session with you, Sir Alexander.
Thank
And
you, ma'am.
looking forward to you using Mentimeter to gamify your classroom. Feel free to send a message to me if you have more questions.
Okay, ma'am. I'll do that, ma'am. I'll take note of
Okay,
that.
thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Magandang hapon
Good
and
afternoon din po.
bye.
Bye-bye po.
Okay. Bye, sir.
Bye-bye po.